And I think it will be much easier to go to GA4 tutorials after you read this book. So yeah, I would say it's also a Bible. Hello, digital marketing stars. We had the previous video from 2020 about 12 digital marketing books for beginners that I recommend that got more than 25,000 views. And we got a lot of comments asking us about some fresh recommendations. So we are back with 10 marketing books that I would recommend, most of them connected to digital marketing and e-commerce. So let's start. Our first recommendation today is This is Marketing from Seth Godin. I know you all know Seth Godin, and I recommended previously some other of his books. This one is like a Bible for marketers, and I think it's very appropriate for our days because the main idea is that marketing that everyone has already done is not marketing that you want to do. And the main idea that Seth advocates in this book is the idea that you should actually always start from your minimum viable audience. So from your audience of fans and ambassadors. And you should understand that buyer persona profile as well as possible. And then starting from that, you want to build your tribe. And I think that nowadays, with the digital advertising costs on the rise, it is more important than ever to focus on your tribe and to focus on customer loyalty and on building communities in digital marketing, no matter their form. Another topic that is very, very appropriate nowadays, especially in politics and especially after the pandemic, I would say, Dan Ariely wrote a book called Misbelief that focuses on the funnel of misbelief. I really liked this term he coined. And he's trying to explain our society's loss of trust. He's trying to explain what is the buyer persona profile that cognitively is more prone to fall victim to this funnel of misbelief. And it's trying to explain how you can use this in your favor as a brand, let's say, or how you can reason with people that are down the funnel of misbelief. This is how I would summarize it. We have another good recommendation about Mark Schiffer that I was very fortunate to meet at JPEG Summit some years ago, and we are going to see again at JPEG Summit in 2025, so very soon. The book is called Belonging to the Brand. And Mark also advocates on the same idea that Seth had and that we previously discussed. He's talking about 3 mega trends that are taking us to the same idea that community marketing is key in today's digital marketing. And the idea here is that traditional marketing strategies no longer work because everything is so crowded and the attention span is lowering. We also have mental health issues that are on the rise and emerging technologies that enable community. You would say, what is the connection between mental health issues and emerging technologies? But the idea is that people are so alienated because of technology, and on the other hand, technology is so making it easy for us to build communities that people are very prone to joining communities. And you as a brand can make it a goal for you to focus on building such communities, I would say around your brand, or at least to tap into these communities. We have another recommendations from Martin Greif, that is one of the conversion rate optimization experts that I really follow, and I also met at JPEG Summit. His book is called True Connections, and it also focuses on the idea that we have psychology triggers, user experience, and conversion rate optimization techniques that really work and that you should use in your e-commerce and digital marketing. And I think Martin gives you a lot of examples in his book. They are very practical, usable. So I would say they complete this idea of building connections, communities, and it also shows you how. I don't know how last time I forgot about one of my favorites actually, Robert Cialdini's Influence. This is one of my favorite books, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. And Robert Cialdini here is trying to classify the persuasion principles in 7 categories, and he's trying to explain the psychological triggers behind persuasive messages. And he gives us very, very nice examples. They are from traditional advertising, but I think you can very easily see them in digital advertising as well. And I think it will give you more creative ideas for your campaigns and for your marketing strategies. Now we have an absolute favorite of mine, April Dunford, who I met at the How to Web conference in Bucharest. The book is called Obviously Awesome, and her main idea is that it is very important not to spend marketing budgets before you have your positioning right. So what she advocates is that you need to get very well what problem you're solving, what your customer profile is, and to see the ways you are uniquely different than the alternatives that your customer perceives. And you should understand your product positioning as well as possible in order to communicate it to the people that are best suited to buy your product. I would say that this book is like a marketing Bible. It's like the Holy Grail, and I think it's going to change your perspective a lot. And it is based on another book that is traditional, but also honestly amazing. It only has like 180 pages, but you can anyhow scan it. I think this is like the Bible of positioning. It's written by Elle Rice and Jack Trout. I think people in marketing are generally studying it in university. I graduated computer science, so I have no idea, but I think it's like the Bible. It explains what positioning is. And I think that nowadays it's very important to get the basics right, because you're basically competing with giants in your market. And in order to do this right, I think that when you have your positioning and messages right, you actually get a lot of acceleration and your costs are lowering. This one looks like a Bible because it's black. It's Kepferer on Luxury, written by G.N. Kepferer. And this is the Bible of advertising for premium customers, and it explains the success of luxury brands. It explains a bit the do's and don'ts for luxury brand advertising, and yeah, honestly, I think it's awesome. It explains the idea of rarity, exclusiveness, and why, as a luxury brand, you should do your advertising completely different. I would say that maybe it sounds like, yeah, Captain Obvious, of course it's different, but no, I think the examples that he gives here are quite compelling and to the point. From the other side, we have 2 technical recommendations, and I'm going to end with this. This is a book that I found by accident, but absolutely loved, written by Kirk Williams, Ponderings of a PPC Professional. This book is about some questions that a PC professional is facing in agency everyday life, like how much does brand awareness matter? How much should you invest in each phase of the funnel? Is it really that important to focus on technical details? And it's a collection of philosophical questions on PPC, I would say. And if you've worked in PPC or are working in PPC, you will feel like, oh my God, Kirk, this dude really understands me. So it's really good. It's like joining a PPC support group, I would say. I loved it. This book, the last one, Learning Google Analytics by Mark Edmondson. I would say that nowadays, when GA4 changed all our perspective on analytics and tracking, and as we have these campaigns that are very AI-driven nowadays in Meta, Google, and so on, it's very important to understand GA4. And I think a lot of people didn't make it once everything changed from Google Analytics, the universal version, to GA4. And I think this book explains in very practical steps, in a very easy to read tone of voice, everything you need to understand about GA4 in analytics. And I think it will be much easier to go to GA4 tutorials after you read this book. So yeah, I would say it's also a Bible. So yeah, you have 10 more recommendations. If you didn't see or didn't watch our first video, we also have other 12 digital marketing books for beginners. I think those are more about digital marketing. Now we have a variety of digital marketing and traditional advertising, but I think they are all very appropriate for 2025. If you are into digital marketing and you want your campaigns to shine bright and you want to listen what us at MTH Digital are testing and reporting back to you, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel or to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, or wherever you are viewing this content.